What's good? Welcome back to another edition of Dat Talk Podcast. I go by the name of Bacon. I got my co-host with me,
Mr. Too Many Reasons himself. I'm out here. I'm ready for war.
Ready for war.
It's football, man. It's like football and basketball is a little different. I feel like my basketball energy is like, oh man, yeah. My football energy, I'm like, sup? You feel me?
Ready to tackle somebody.
Yeah, man, because I'm still playing. So anytime I get to talking football, it just, I got practice tonight. I'm ready to,
Yeah. I feel it. I definitely feel that. My football days are over, but I will say there are a lot of women, according right now, 20 women who's ready to tackle Deshaun Watson with some allegations. So let's talk about some of these allegations, man, about some sexual assaults. And a lot of women are coming out of the woodworks of Deshaun Watson, the quarterback, sexually assaulting them and asking for sexual favors, okay, at the massage parlors, okay? I guess supposedly he was trying to get some happy endings a lot of times. And so it ironically comes out when the brother said he wants to get out of Houston. So I think Houston, we got a problem. Let's talk about it. What's your thoughts on it?
First and foremost, why does one man need so many different people to give him a massage? Usually people just got like a person they go to, maybe two.
Maybe they go to like it's a location where it's a different person every time though.
True, but because like on the flip side, reports came out yesterday that Watson's attorney, Rusty Hardin, who's a famous attorney for Roger Clemens and some of the other stuff that happened in baseball, that he has 18 other masseuses claiming that Deshaun Watson ain't like that. So if you got 21 allegations plus 18 people saying that ain't true, my math said that's 39 different.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's 39 different massage people within, a 3 to 4 year span, bro.
I'm saying it has to be he's going to a place, right? And it's a different female every time. Instead of hiring just one masseuse.
That's why it's like I said, I'm never the type to say in these situations that somebody is wrong, because I look at it like one or two, you'd be like, all right, they probably out here for some clout, a little money. Once you start getting to 3, 4, 5, it's like, got to be a little truth.
Around for me.
Huh?
I feel like it's the other way around for me. I feel like if it's one or two, it seems more believable. Right? You know what I'm saying? But if it's 20, 38, or whatever the number is right now.
It was 20 allegations and 18 that say he's not like that. That's what it is.
I'm saying. So it's like that's when I'm thinking like, yo, come on now. That seemed like a lot of them coming because they all came out of the woodwork. It wasn't like one person's like all 20 came out at one time and said it. It was like one person supposedly came out, then another person came out, then another person came out. Oh, it happened to me too. Oh yeah, that happened to me too. Oh yeah, that happened to me. It's almost like somebody's trying to get paid or whatever the case may be. I don't know if he did it to one person. Who knows? He probably did. He probably did do it to one person. It is against the law to get a happy ending. But at the end of the day, you have a right to say no, right? And if you're getting a massage and you're the masseuse, right? You have every right to call the police, to call authorities. This is a high profile guy.
Yeah.
This is a high profile guy. You have every right to be like, no. When it first happened, you have every right to be like, no, It seems like there's a third party in the mix that is maybe, and I don't want to speculate, but I'm just saying, because it don't add up to me. This is the type of stuff that don't add up to me. If it's one allegation, it seemed more realistic. It seemed more realistic when it coming from one person. Because like that could have happened. You know what I'm saying? We don't know, but that definitely could have happened. But now you got 20 different allegations of women saying that you got sexual pleasures from. That's 20 different women that had the right, because I'm pretty sure, I don't know, but I don't think they was drinking when you give it. I don't think you're supposed to be drinking or intoxicated while you giving a massage. And if it's at a location, you get what I'm saying? I don't know if it was at his house or whatnot. I don't know. But for them to all do it or agree to do it, that's a little bit strange to me.
And see, and to your point, like you said, it's like high profile athlete. If you felt that he was doing something inappropriate,
right,
why report it then? Because if he was doing something inappropriate and he quote unquote offered you some hush money or however these things go, and then you accepted it, right? Or was willing to negotiate said hush money payments. Now it's like, oh, everybody coming out, I feel like I should get a bigger payday. Then your energy behind the situation wasn't pure to begin with.
Right.
Because to me, I feel like out of all these 20, one or two of them, he probably, tried to get a little bit more out the situation. Because I think he kind of admitted to like the first one that came out that it wasn't what it seemed. And he tried to kind of like get her to calm it down. And she like, nah, I'm coming out with this. Right. And so, I'm just not in the mindset, because like I said, I have a daughter. You feel me? I got sisters. Don't wait around for something to pop big for you to go start complaining because you don't look credible. Right. If you felt that you was being disrespected or you felt that what he was doing was inappropriate, you need to out that man out right now. You feel me? And then the other little fishy situation that's going on with this is the lawyer that's seeing all these allegations won't even take it to the Houston Police Department. Seems kind of odd. He wants to use some kind of outside source. ESPN said maybe he got some guys or different people. But again, like these sexual advances, these quote unquote sexual misconduct, sexual assault, all this stuff is like crime stuff. But nothing has been taken to the authorities. So this is why currently all it is still allegations.
Yeah.
Nothing is on paper, on wax right now. It's like, oh, he did this. Because it has yet to be filed with anybody of a higher power. And if these were so egregious and so bad, what are we waiting on?
They're trying to get it back. And I'm sorry to say that. And it's sad that it's like that, but that's the consequence of being a high profile person in this world, man or female. You know what I mean? There's people, again, I would never condone somebody to force somebody to do anything. When we're talking about sexual favors and you had an opportunity to get up out of there and he didn't rape you per se, and you agreed, because it seems like it's an agreement between all these people who coming out of the woodwork saying, he asked me for sexual favors or whatever. So he asked you for sexual favors. You said no. And either you said no or you said yeah. But if you said yeah and you did the sexual favors and you took whatever the money was, a tip or whatever, no point intended, but you took the cash, and now you're trying to get more money, then let's be real. That's you agreeing to have sex. Call a spade a spade. You agreeing to allow a man to pay you to
do what you need to do.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That you have a choice. Now I can understand if you don't have a choice. He's pressuring you. He's raping you. He's forcing himself on you, right? But if you have a choice and you chose yes, you can't come out and say this man asked me to do that too, and I didn't want to do it, but you end up doing it. Because if you if you didn't want to do it, you could have got out of there. And
if you said no, it's like you didn't do it. And
right.
if you feel disrespected behind it, then that's something you need to address right then and there.
Right. Because now he's in trouble. That's a high profile case. And if he try to threaten you, you got all that on it's he say, she say, but you got to be honest. You be honest. And if it's real, it's real. It'll come out. They'll most likely pay you under the table and nip it under the butts, and they'll know it happened at the end of the day.
It continues to be a silk game. But my biggest thing on top of this is I'm not a fan of the coverage of it, because just a month ago, a football player by the name of Chad Wheeler beat his girlfriend up, damn near killed the woman. If you look at her face and look at the reports, and it got no coverage.
Because he's white. Why are we being stupid? Why are we being naive? Come on, man.
I get that. And that's why it goes back to this systematic oppression that me and you've been talking about on our show over the last year. And It's just very unfortunate that all these major platforms and airwaves and all these, all this stuff going on and not making a big deal. It's too many, especially. And this kind of goes to my point. It's too many prominent African-American men and women on these shows that could have said something because it was a black woman that he did it to. And nothing was said. It was just swept under the rug like, oh, this is another day in the life of black women getting mistreated. That's where my problem is. You feel me? Like, there's too many people that have dominant roles that got something to say about everything all the damn time. And then when this story hits the surface, all of a sudden, we're not going to touch on it. We're not going to bring it up. I look at some of these men and watch these shows morning, noon, and night, and look at some of these men like as people who I aspire to one day be like in this role, and you black men know this story is out and you say nothing. This is why our black women be afraid to speak out. This is why women in general, we ain't got to say black women, women in general be afraid to speak out, because if they do, nothing is being done. But all of a sudden, when it's a black man in a situation of these women speaking out, and we don't even know all the races that are in thing, it's like, oh, look, the black man with the sexual misconduct. But the white dude who beat his girlfriend up to damn near to death and told her to bow down to me on some slavery type stuff, nothing said? Come on, man. I got an issue, bro. It's an issue.
It's a legitimate issue. It definitely is. But it's the world we live in. It's the world we live in. It's the coverages, of showing us as the aggressive, the negative, bad people, that have problems when it comes to off-field issues. It happens, and it happens to the point where it's like, why it's happening. Who owns the big companies? Come on, man. They're not talking about their people like that. All their issues get swept under the rug. All their issues get swept under the rug. It's talked about for 1 or 2 days, and that's about it. The only issue that probably got talked about for a while, and it was because of the whole social justice injustices, was the Drew Brees thing. That was talked about for a couple of weeks.
And that was only because black people felt offended.
Exactly.
It wasn't because...
And he didn't hit nobody. He didn't use nobody. He just made a comment and said how he felt or whatever the case may be. But again, it's sad. It's sad to see, but this is the world we live in right now. You know what I mean? And unless it's controlled by other people and other sources, they can control the narration and they can control what we feed our minds. You see what they talking about Deshaun Watson. Like I said, I don't know if he did it or not. I'm not saying the man guilty. I'm not saying the man innocent until I get the facts. But what I am saying, it's ironic that this story came out when Deshaun Johnson said he wanted out of Houston. Because these stories it's not just happened 20 women. He just didn't do this to 20 minutes back to back to back. These are stories that happened a while back, some time ago. And all of a sudden, they coming out. That's why it seemed like it's a third party involved that's like, yo, Deshaun Watson want to leave. We need to come up with something. All right. Hey, let's say Deshaun Watson did this. Did he ever ask you to do that? Yeah, he did. Oh, he did? Oh, need you to go on record and say that he did, and you boom, 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 boom. He paid you to do boom, boom. That's the headline. We get more women. Boom, 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 boom. We're not going to the police. Deshaun, you gonna pay us or what? Either two things. Pay us. We don't say that we put under the rug, or you stay in Houston and you play for Houston.
Oh, that's what they hit me with.
I'm not saying that's what's going on, but I'm just saying it's ironic that it happened when a brother said he wanted out, because this just not just happened yesterday. It didn't happen yesterday. And these stories are not out of the blue. These stories are intentional. But anyway, we'll wait until we get the news and find out, because if it is true, it's true. But it's just funny if it's true. Why you ain't talking to no kind of police in Houston right now? No reports, no evidence, no nothing. Why you not talking to no? If it's true, that don't make sense to me. That don't. But we know what's going on. We know what's going on, man. Anyway, man, what's been happening in the league? We had the NFL season. It's 17 games now. Nothing too crazy. They just took away a preseason game. How you feel about that?
17 games, man, make it interesting. I feel like they should have lowered the preseason 2 games. Kept it 17, lowered the preseason 2 games, gave the team an extra bye week, but that's just my thinking. Do you know who y'all playing? Is y'all extra game yet? Have you checked that out?
I'm not in football mode like that, but I'll check it out as we get close. I think, let me see.
They added, so for the Raiders, they added the Bears for us. So our extra game is the Bears, and it's
I don't even see.
It's a home game for us.
I don't think they have it on the website yet.
Well, it's out, because I seen the Raiders added the Bears, and we just a home game.
At it. I'm on the site right now. I'm looking at the. Let me see, man. We're gonna find out. But how do you feel about it though? How do you feel about it?
Like I said, as a football fan, I love it. Honestly, man, I can't wait, because I love what we do, and that's just an extra week for us. You feel me? Like, I look forward to it, bro. It gives us another week, man, to pick games and do what we do. Another week to talk football. Another week of just extra money going into the system for football. I feel like 17, an extra 17 does not hurt. I just feel like records are going to be broken. The passing record of most touchdowns in the season could be potentially broken. A sack record could be potentially broken. It's going to be hard for somebody to catch Calvin Johnson in receiving. But I feel like more records are going to be broken, and I don't think that if the records are broken in 17 games, we need to live in this weird formula of, it took them an extra game to do this. They did it, bro. Like, they can't control how many games they get to do it. You feel me? Just like when O.J. Simpson rushed for over 2,000 yards in 14 games. And then Eric Dickerson did it in 16.
Right.
Knock Eric Dickerson for what he did? No. He's a rushing champ. That's just like knocking somebody for playing in the league longer than other people. It's the same difference. So that's my take on 17 games. What about you? Big deal, little deal, no deal, 17 games. What you feel like?
I think it's whatever. It's 17 games. They're minimizing the preseason game. So I definitely understand that. It's a 3, because you need. I think it's probably going to be the first 2 games are going to be games for people to get warmed up, and the last game probably going to be for the people who's trying to make a team, if anything.
I don't even think that. I feel like nobody's going to play in the first game. They're going to play a quarter or some change in the second game, and ain't nobody playing in the third.
You think so?
Yeah, because the way it was at first was they played like a series in game one. They played like a quarter in game two, and then they played at least to a halftime and sometimes coming out of half in game three and then sat. But still, when you look at a lot of different vets, a lot of vets didn't even play in a lot of games regardless. It was preseason where vets sat all 4 games.
Well, yeah, here's a game.
Like for example, do you think Julio will participate in preseason? Or should he?
No, I don't think he should. Not at this stage of his career. The preseason, look, the 17 games is cool. But again, what my biggest issue is with NFL is the lack of pay. They don't get paid a lot, and they play to play 17 games is tough. It's tough on the body because even with basketball, it's collision, but you're not getting hit in the head every single play. You know what I'm saying? You got all these other sports getting paid so much bread. So these contracts is out of this world. And we already know with the concussion protocols and how people have mental issues when they get done with the game. And so you're not necessarily you're not adding the game. You just took away a game. So it's really not that big deal. It's just you're not playing a preseason game and you're playing a regular season game. You're playing that one preseason game in the regular season. So you're pretty much having the same amount of season. Now, it would have been different if they would have added another game on top of those 4 games, right? It would have been different if that was the case. That would have been like, yo, that's a little bit too much, bro. Y'all bugging. You know what I'm saying? We're going to need 2 teams. You're going to have 2 weeks bye week or whatever the case may be. But in all, it's the same thing. You just take one game, add it. But this game matters, though. That's the difference. So we will see, is this 7-game game going to help a team or it's going to hurt a team? That is going to be a big deal moving forward as we get close to the playoffs. But right now, it's not a big deal because we don't know how it's going to impact. But it could be impactful if that last game could determine if you make the playoffs or not, because you got another week. If it was just that prior week, you'd be in the playoffs. But now you got another week to try to get in the playoffs. So definitely
extra week, extra playoff team. You know, NFL is making it interesting. So we'll see how this plays out. But we got some interesting things going on in the league. Teams making moves. One team that I saw making moves in a division I consider the best division in football right now in the NFC West. You got to think about it. You got Stafford being traded to the Rams.
Yeah.
You got J.J. Watt, A.J. Green to the Cardinals. Seattle just re-signed Tyler Lockett and did some other little moves. So with the moves in the NFC West, you consider a lot of those big deals, little deals, no deal. What you think about that?
I think they seem like big deals, but it's a wait and see.
Okay.
Because I feel like Stafford could help LA.
Oh, they also added Deshaun Jackson to LA too.
I think he can help LA, but I don't know if he's going to be healthy, and I don't know what Stafford you're going to get, right? Mm-hmm. I really don't know what Stafford you're going to get. You're going to get a gunslinger, but again, Stafford is Stafford. He has good days. He has bad days. He has moments where you be like, man, that boy's on fire. Then you have games where you like, bro, what is he doing out there? And he's at the end of trajectory of his not career, but at the later end of his career, right? So he's not the young Stafford coming out of Georgia back in the day. You know what I'm saying? So he's got some miles on him. I think he can help them when it comes to delivering the ball down the field. I think Goff was always off when it came to downfield throws. He couldn't deliver the ball down the field with accuracy. He was a great intermediate passer. He'd throw that thing about 10, 15 yards, and even sometimes with anything above 15 yards was tough for him. He struggled a lot, and so I think it will help Stafford gunslinger mentality that I'm going to throw it, I can care less if you covered. I'm going to take that chance. And the Rams ain't really never had that type of quarterback when it comes to somebody who's going to take a chance besides like a Kurt Warner, who was a guy that he wasn't a deep ball thrower, but he'd take some chances here and there, and he could throw that thing around. You know what I'm saying? And he was a slanger. Kurt was a slanger. And so It'd be interesting to see. I just don't know because it's going to take some time. I would say they're not that big of a deal, but could be a deal depending on how it works out. Because again, what's the Ram philosophy? They don't necessarily have, quote unquote, a philosophy. And so I don't know. What you think?
I feel like the Rams, I agree with you, wait and see. I feel like the Cardinals getting J.J. Watt's a big deal. And adding A.J. Green is a big deal. Just because, they add another weapon for Kyler Murray. And if Larry Fitzgerald was to retire, which he hasn't announced or not yet, they got a guy, another vet they can kind of plug in to go with Hopkins, Kirk, Isabella, and all that kind of stuff. They need to draft a tight end. So I need them to get a tight end, and that will help out. But they lost their running back, Kenyon Drake, because he came to the Raiders. So I think they're rocking with Chase Edmonds. So that means they're going to probably draft a running back. But J.J. Watt on that D-line with Chandler Jones, I think is going to makes them a little bit better. They lost Patrick Peterson, but I think that makes them better. Overall, with Seattle, Russell Wilson came out and basically said that, we need an O-line. And Seattle traded for Gabe Jackson from the Raiders, also gave him an extension. So that's a pretty solid right guard to help them out. But they got to build that O-line because all Russ do is run for his life. If he run. You feel me? And they're too talented offensively for them to have to run for his life all the damn time. So that division just got more interesting. We're going to talk about the Niners in our next block. So we'll get into that. So what about the Carson Wentz to the Colts? Big deal, little deal, no deal? How you feel about that?
I think that's huge. I think the Colts is going to be contenders this year. I just feel like Carson wasn't happy in Philly because they really didn't give him nothing. They ain't give him nothing to have. And I think he got a young receiver core. He got my man Hilton out there who's going to do something. And he got a dope running back core. And they got a good team with a great foundation and a great coach. And they're going to do something. I really feel like the coach is going to be knocking on some doors because their defense was solid. Their offense was just struggling because it's Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers is, come on, Phillip Rivers. And they should have won. They should have won that playoff game, but they choked that away. They should have beat the Bills. Should have beat the Bills in that game, and they choked it away. But that's Phillip Rivers. We know that. But I think Wentz is going to help the Colts make a good playoff run this year. So I think that's a really big deal. In my opinion, if he stay healthy, he's got the receiver core, he got the O-line, and now he's got a defense. Ooh. You know what happened when he had those things? The Philadelphia's, I'm about to say 76ers, the Philadelphia Eagles, they had a great season. And he just ended up getting hurt. Nice. You know what I'm saying? So if he stay healthy, Wentz can be back on top as an elite quarterback in this league.
I like it just because that division is so up in the air.
Right.
You got Tennessee, but they lost some guys. They kind of added a few. They added Bud Dupree. But so Tennessee's formidable. Jacksonville's rebuilding with a new rookie quarterback. And then the Texans got this whole Deshaun Watson situation. So you don't know what the hell you about to get out the Texans. They added Mark Ingram, Phillip Lindsay. They traded for a right tackle. They did another little trade. So they added some stuff, but they don't have a draft pick to the third round. So they about to get, and they lost Will Fuller, their best deep ball receiver. So I don't necessarily know what the Texans going to look like. Jacksonville is young. So Wentz walked into a situation where he can go win.
Yeah.
And he's got his former quarterback coach, who was his head coach. So I feel like that's extremely important for them. And, and I think that helps out. And then the last one we got here, Tampa Bay. They're the first team since the 79 something. I can't think of what team it was, to return all 22 starters to that team. Big deal, no deal, little deal.
Uh, I think it's in the middle.
Oh,
That
okay.
is a big deal that they got all their players back, but just because you got them back don't mean you're gonna have the same outcome. All right, people will get better. People will learn how to play you better. That team is a problem because that defense is so young, and they got a stud at that middle linebacker who is going to be amazing in this league, barring injuries. He's going to be a stud, and they're going to be tough. Okay, I just suck that they're in our division. And signing Tom Brady to another extension, man, that man ain't gonna never retire. You got one, Drew Brees said, I'm hanging it up. And then you got another one said, I'm still playing, dog. All your records, bring them on to me, dog. I want to be the best that ever did it. You know, I want to be the best that ever did it. So I think it's in between right now, because to win back-to-back Super Bowls, it's not easy to do. But I want to applaud them on getting all their starters back on both sides of the ball. That's big. Well, they didn't get all of them because
They didn't lose. No, listen.
Antonio Brown,
but he's not considered a starter.
Oh,
I guess.
but they didn't get everybody back. Put it that way. They got the people that they felt was reliable. I think it's an in between deal. What about you?
It's a big deal to me.
Okay.
I just look at it like this a whole nother year in the system, a whole nother year just of them gelling and getting better. That young secondary is a year older, which means they're probably a year wiser. Tom Brady being able to have a real offseason, because you got to remember this COVID offseason was totally different.
Yeah.
Now with everything kind of going on, the offseason going to be somewhat a little bit more regular. I think they found the groove in what they want to do. They found the groove in what they want to do towards the end of the season. You can see that their offense changed from where it was after that bye week, and they found the groove. So when you're able to bring in Dominican Sue back, sign Shaq Barrett to the big deal. So you got Vita Vea and Dominican Sue, and you got JPP. You brought back Levante David to pair with Devin White. The secondary ain't going nowhere. Then on offense, you bring back Gronk. You bring back Fournette. You may or may not bring back AB, but I think AB looking for a payday. But Scotty Miller wasn't bad. You just added AB. You franchise Chris Godwin. So it's a big deal. Right now, I said it last time, and until proven otherwise, I got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers back in the Super Bowl. I just feel like that's just.
I don't say that. I ain't gonna say that. I think they favored, but I'm not gonna say that.
That's all I said. Until proven otherwise, it's hard for me to pick against a team that has come back whole. Most of the time, teams win Super Bowl, they be like, damn, they lost this, they lost that. How they gonna fix that? This team came back whole. It's tough.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll definitely see. But before we get out of here, there's some big things going on. We got the draft coming just around the corner, but we got some people making some big time moves. How do you feel about the Niners and the Miami Dolphins? And who else was in that trade?
The Eagles.
The Eagles. How do you feel about that before we get up out of here?
It was interesting, man, to see the Niners move to 3. Yeah, okay, so the Niners moved to 3 from Miami, gave up a couple of first-round picks. I was like, oh, this means they're going to get a quarterback. You got to be getting a quarterback when you move to 3. So then it's like, yeah. So then it's like, if I'm going to move to 3 to get a quarterback, then I should have just got rid of Jimmy G and just started this whole new process. But it's like y'all going to keep Jimmy G, draft a new quarterback and have them compete, or y'all giving Jimmy G the reins? I don't know. I feel like sometimes when you try to be the smartest man in the room, you end up being a dummy. So we got to see how that works out. I feel like Miami then flopping with Philly and getting back to 6 shows me they trying to get a receiver. So Jamar Chase, Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle, all those dudes should be there at 6, because now you're going to give two of some weapons. And Miami, again, still got first-round picks. You feel me? That they got from both Philly and San Francisco, on top of the ones they already had. And then Philly at 12 shows me they believe in Jalen Hurts. And I think they're going to take the best available player at 12, which to me needs to be a receiver. And then they could continue to build from there. I feel like with Philly at 6, they had all these questions about a quarterback and all this kind of stuff. But I feel like they kill that noise and they build for the future and they're going to get the rocking. So I'm more curious about the Niners than I am the Dolphins and Philly, because the Niners, it looks interesting. Because talking to resident Niner fans, it doesn't matter who we draft, we're going to be good. But I told Niner fans, Kyle Shanahan has only had a rookie quarterback once, and he had an RG3. But that system that he was running with RG3 was tailored more towards RG3 than it was a Kyle Shanahan system. When he had Matt Schaub was older. When he had Matt Ryan was older. He had Brad Hoyer when he was in Cleveland, a little older, didn't look too good. Garoppolo had been seasoned already. So I'm curious to see what Shanahan does with a young guy.
Yeah. I don't know what they're going to do. It's interesting to drop that low. They may pick up a receiver. They may pick up somebody. Maybe a receiver, offensive line.
Because they came out and said they're drafting a quarterback. The GM and coach basically.
That means they're getting that dude from BYU then.
Oh, Zach Wilson?
That's who they get.
But what if Zach Wilson goes to the Jets?
I don't think he's going to the Jets. I think the Jets are probably going to get a receiver.
Well, I feel like we'll say that conversation for our draft.
Anyway, man, y'all let us know in the comments below. How do y'all feel about all these big deals, little deals, no deals? If it's a big deal to you, let us know in the comments below. What y'all thoughts on this Deshaun Watson, man? It's sad to see it going down like this. It's just, like I said, if he did it, crime deserves to get punished if you did do it, or whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Just ironic how it's coming out and the information that's coming about, and the authorities are not even involved, but it's all over headlines. You know what I'm saying? And so it's sad to see, but the draft is just around the corner. Got a lot of people doing some pro days. You got a lot of players looking really good that's getting their stock up so they can get picked possibly early in that first round. What do you guys think we got here, dog?
Hey, man, just happy Easter to everybody, man.
Happy Resurrection Day.
You feel me? Love your loved ones. Continue to love the man above, because without him, there is no us. I'm taking my family this weekend, man. We're about to go enjoy Easter this weekend in Vegas. My mom's and stuff coming out there, so nice little family trip, man. And that's what my focus is. So, just enjoy your loved ones. All kids on spring break, man. Enjoy this last little weekend so y'all can have this final push through y'all senior year for the seniors and for all the rest of the kids. Because out here in Fresno, kids going back to on-campus learning in a modified situation. So, it's just big things, man. And, take care of yourselves, man. Continue to wear your mask, continue to wash your hands. If you feel the urge to get vaccinated, go do that also. Me and Bate kind of talked about it last time. Our plans for next week. So, continue to stay safe, man, and be blessed.
Yes. And always remember to talk that talk. We out of here. Happy weekend. Peace.